Hello everyone! So this is my much anticipated video on Prismacolor pencils and odorless mineral spirits. I will try to cover as much information as I can in the video. Yeah, because every time I post a video showing me coloring with them, I get tons of questions. And I've just put off doing this video. I don't know why. Anyway, so first off, before we even get to anything, my favorite cardstock for using this method of coloring is the Stamping Bella's Bestest cardstock, it's called. Basically all you need is just a white, smooth cardstock. Like the smoother the texture, the better. So Stampin' Up's Whisper White was another good one. It's got a bit more of a sheen to it than this does, so I actually prefer this one. All That Scraps carries the CC Designs, the Copic quality cardstock, it works as well. The Nina Classic Crest cardstocks work, but just basically a nice smooth cardstock. The smoother the surface, the better. You don't want glossy, but just smooth. It just helps when you're blending. And yeah, so I do prefer the Stamping Bella for this. It's a really nice cardstock for this technique. But whatever works for you. So I've got that. And then my preferred ink for Prismacolor pencils and odorless mineral spirits is the Versafine Onyx Black, the Archival Instant Dry Pigment ink. I really like this ink. It's the one that's so black and juicy. I talked about it in my favorite black inks and why video. You can use like Memento ink as well, but I prefer the Versafine just because it's even blacker and you get an even smoother image. The only drawback with Versafine is you can't use it with Copics. I talked about that in my favorite ink video, so I'm not talking about Copics. This is Prismacolor. So yeah, so that's my favorite ink, my favorite paper. Now, before we get on to the actual image, Prismacolor pencils. Prismacolor is a brand. You can use other brands of pencil crayons. They need to be pencil crayons, not watercolor pencils, not oil pastels, nothing like that. I get asked a lot again, are they watercolor pencils? No. Watercolor pencils will not work for this. You are using mineral spirits. Those are completely two different methods of coloring. Like I said, I'm going to try and cover as much as possible. There gets to be a lot of confusion with this. So yeah, you need pencil crayons, like waxy based pencil crayons. So Prismacolors are technically one of the best ones to get because they are more artist grade, you know, higher pigment quality, blah, blah, blah. Another really good one is these, I think it's pronounced Koh-i-Noor set. And they're the woodless color pencils. They just come in a set of 24. The only drawback with them is they break really easily. But these are really, really nice. I can't even remember where I got these. I ordered them online, I think. I might even have got them from Stamping Bella a long time ago. Anyway, but yeah, this set comes in 24. I'm not sure if they come in other sets or not. So my only drawback with these is you don't have a very big color selection. Whereas with the Prismacolors, you can get, well, I think I got the whole 144 set from Michaels. Use a coupon if you get it at Michaels. They can be expensive, but they last for years. I've had my Prismacolor set for 8 or 9 years now, I think. So that's how long they last. But then again, I also don't color with them a ton. Obviously, you guys see I do Copics most of the time, but you never know, I might start doing this more often. But yeah, you can use even Crayola pencil crayons. Like if you're starting out and you want to play with this method, give it a shot. It will work. You just won't get as vibrant of colors as you do with the Prismacolors. But you can use whatever is available to you. Go to Walmart, get yourself a set of Crayolas. They have other brands that have higher pigment content. So that's all you need. So you need your pencil crayons and you need blending stumps. I just keep mine stored like this. Paper blending stumps. There are all kinds of sizes, literally, like they come tons of different sizes. You want the stumps, not the, I can't remember the name offhand. I think these are called tortillions, and I probably butchered that pronunciation. These ones are hollow. It's kind of hard to show on camera. There you go. I don't know, they're okay to a degree, but they're not going to last very long because they're the hollow kind. They're just cheap crap. I never use these. I don't even know where these came from. But you want the solid, like the two-ended blending stumps. And these, again, will last you a really long time. I got mine from all over the place. I'm pretty sure you can get them at Michaels. I'll try and post links. I know onecrazystamper.com has some. Yeah, there was a big hullabaloo when this really became popular, like 8 or 9 years ago with the stamping world, and this was like the way to color before Copics took over. There was a big thing about the Stumps, and because there's two different kinds. Some are made in Taiwan, some are made in China. So you can kind of tell the color difference. I forget which ones are considered the better ones. Because yeah, one was preferred over the other because they were smoother, they blended better, blah, blah. Honestly, I pretty much use the ones that are made in China, but I go by more by size. I don't even look to see which kind is which. It depends on what size of a stump I want to use. So get yourself some. They're pretty cheap. They last a really long time. And then the other thing you need is you either need this little sandpaper dude. This actually comes in one of the kits I'm going to link to that comes with the Odorless Mineral Spirits. You don't absolutely have to have this. You can actually even just use a nail file. You know, a decent grit nail file, sandpaper, whatever. You just need them to be able to sand off the color. I'll get to that in a minute. So you've got pencil crayons, a few stumps. Just get them in a few different sizes so you've got some variety. Where's a little one? There we go. So a few stumps, sandpaper, nail file, whatever. And then the big one, Odorless Mineral Spirits. Artist grade. You do not want to use like industrial grade paint thinner for this. One, you'll get high as a kite and fry yourself if you're sitting here doing that too long. And two, that's way too powerful stuff. You don't need that. This is why I always say artist grade. It's a finer quality. Most of them are, that's why they call it odorless. It still has a smell. It's not that bad. Yeah. One of the main brands is Gamsol. Just like so. It's hard to find, especially up here in Canada. The other one I usually show, this is Grumbacher. I got this at Michael's years ago. Every time I show this, I get so many emails from people because they went to their Michael's, they couldn't find it. I don't work for Michael's. I'm not affiliated with Michael's, so I can't say. I don't know. I found it on like a bottom shelf in the paint, like in the section where they have all the art supplies, paint, etc., etc., etc. And yeah, it was years ago, and I still have quite a bit of this. So I've never needed to go back and look. I think I've looked once, and yeah, I couldn't see it there last time I was there. If you have an art supply store, definitely ask them because they can probably point you in the right direction because it might not be these brands, but they might have something very similar. I have a very old bottle of these. This is Gina K Designs Artist Grade Odorless Mineral Spirits. I'm pretty sure, like, this is just Gamsol. It was repackaged for her. Last time I looked on her website, she doesn't carry this anymore at all. But I found it there, and I've got quite a bit left still because I got this 6 years ago, roughly, something like that. It's old. But again, I will link to, there's a little kit on the onecrazystamper.com site, and it actually comes with a bottle of Gamsol, the little sanding dude, and a few blending stumps. So it's like the perfect little beginner kit. Highly recommend that. And yeah, I just recommend looking for yeah, an artist grade odorless mineral spirits. It's basically, it's paint thinner is what it is. It's just a higher grade than the really strong, powerful stuff. And before anyone even gets into it, when it comes to the odor and pregnancy and everything else, it's called common sense. I don't sit in a closet with bottles of paint thinner open and inhale fumes. Use it in small doses. It's not that bad. I can't, you know, it's up to personal preference. I'm not going to tell someone to do it, but I myself am pregnant at the moment and I don't have a problem with it. I also do nails as like an actual profession, so there's odors with that too. But again, it's keeping the airflow in the room and not just sitting there with your nose over the container snorting it the entire time. So yeah, I know I've seen on the forums, people resorting to using baby oil because they're scared of the smell of the odorless mineral spirits, especially when they're pregnant, etc., etc. I have never tried the baby oil method. I refuse to. That just like, it's greasy. It's baby oil, and I don't know. I've never had a problem with something like this. But then again, like airflow, I don't sit in a closed area. You know, I'll even open a window if I need to or whatever. But for the little tiny stamped images I do, it's not like this is open the whole time. So anyway, that's that. I get a lot of questions about this little dude. All this is just a little glass mini spice jar. I had it for years. And then I just took, one of those big round sponges and cut about a quarter of it roughly, shoved it in there. So just sponge, and then I've just poured the mineral spirits into this. It's just way more convenient to use. So it's actually still got a fair bit. I'm gonna have to refill it right away. But how I like it better this way, so I don't have, again, a great big open container of mineral spirits sitting in front of me, you know, evaporating. I've just got my little jar with the sponge, and it's perfect this way. I much prefer this to using, like, usually bottles like this little Gamsol come with a sponge tip, so you have to tilt it and then press against it for the stump to absorb the odorless mineral spirits. So with something like this, I would just pop the tip off and dump it in there. I prefer this method way better. It's just way faster, way more convenient, and then yeah, when I'm done using it, or in between colors, if I'm coloring a lot, I just put the lid on it and I'm good to go. So that is, oh, and then you need a good pencil sharpener. So this is the Stampin' Up! One. I've had this for years. I used to be a demo. But yeah, good, especially if you're gonna invest in like Prismacolor pencils, you know, expensive pencil crayons, get a really good pencil sharpener. The better quality, the better. Like, yeah, this one was really good. I've had this one again, yeah, almost 10 years or something like that, and it's awesome. So you need a good pencil sharpener. Anyway, that's the basics. And then when it comes to the whole point behind this method, you take your little stamped image. This is just a random little watering can stamp from CC Designs. And let's just do some green here. Is you stamp it onto your nice smooth white cardstock, and then you just color it in. It is up to you how you want to color it. There's all sorts of methods out there. Some people do just around the edges and then pull in the color. It's, yeah, totally at first preference, and it's something you kind of need to experiment with to see how you like it. And you can also experiment with the pressure you use. Like, you can use light pressure like this, or you can really do like firmer pressure to give it some more depth. Again, personal preference. And actually, I'm going to zoom down a bit for you guys to see closer. There we go. So, yeah, color your image however you want. You don't have to be completely perfect with this. Same with how I show with my Copic markers. So let's just do that. So yeah, nothing too fancy, just like so. So then get your blending stump. If there's, this is where the sanding paper comes in handy. If there's any remaining color on the stumps, on the tips, this one there's not really any, but if there is, that's what you use the sanding paper or your nail file for, is you sand off the color. And I twist as I sand so that I don't destroy the tip. Because obviously if you keep doing the same thing after a while, you're just going to destroy it. So always use like a twisting motion. You can use your nail file, same thing. Again, one of the perks of being a esthetician is I have a huge abundance of nail files that are, once I've cleaned and sanitized them, I can use them for this. But I usually just use the little sandpaper dude. And yeah, one like this is just a loose sheet I had tucked in, but yeah, it comes like this, and then you just rip off each sheet as you've worn it out. I don't know if I've got any with, yeah, this one's got the teeniest bit of green on the tip. So yeah, you just file it off until there's no more color. So get yourself a clean blending stump, and then you need your odorless mineral spirits. And yeah, I just press it into my sponge so it soaks up some of the mineral spirits. It doesn't need to soak up a ton, but just enough so that it's wet. And then you just use small circular motions, and it basically, what the mineral spirits are doing is they're breaking down the waxy substance in the pencil crayon and the pigments in that, and smoothing it out. That's all it is. And that is why you need pencil crayons for this, not watercolor pencils. It's not meant for watercolor pencils. Like, the mineral spirits are acting on the waxy part of the pencil crayons. So And all you do in the circular motion, if you keep going into the dark areas, it picks up more of the color, and you can pull it and drag it into the lighter areas. And then you just keep picking up more odorless mineral spirits. You'll just notice like it'll start to squeak. You'll have a harder time, like it'll stop blending. You can also turn your stump, because as it picks up more color, it almost becomes oversaturated with color, and it just kind of stops blending. So you can just keep twisting it, keep picking up color until you get it to look the way you want it to. So you can even drag it down. So yeah, and it just gives a really nice, smooth finish. And you can even drag it into, and you also can see, like, that is why I really like this Versafine ink, because you know, it does not smear Versafine at all. Like, it's great. I really like the Versafine. As long as the Versafine is dry, just make sure it's dry. But yeah, so, and if you want to do things like blending colors, you can go back over things, add, like right here, I'll add a little bit of yellow to it too, to alternate it a bit. I won't bother sanding the color off because I'm just blending them together. But yeah, you can add colors, blend them, you can do whatever you want. And it's basically instantly dry. You're not dealing with ink or anything. And the odorless mineral spirits pretty much evaporate as you're coloring with it. So yeah, you've got a dry image. It's not going to smear. So really fun technique. I usually use it more for my smaller detailed images, like my Stamping Bella stamps. Anything with lots of fine detail that I find it for personally is too finicky with Copic markers and that. I like using the Prismacolors because, you know, you've got a fine little detail edge. You can get into small spaces and then use a small little blending stump, etc., etc. So yeah, and then when you're done, and even while it's still wet, file off the color. You just need to be a little more careful when the blending stump is still saturated. It's easier to file, so you don't want to waste a ton of it. But yeah, sand off the little bit of color and then you can go on to the next one. So it's a great little technique. And obviously put the lid on when you're done because this will evaporate. And yeah, right now I can't even smell any. For that little bit of an image, there's like hardly any, there's no smell at all. So that's why you want to go for the artist grade mineral spirits. As again, I will link to as much as I possibly can. It's not easy to find a lot of this stuff now, especially with times changing. Like I know here in Saskatchewan in Canada, I'm not sure if it's all across Canada, but I know where I live, like we can't even get oil-based paint anymore, like at the hardware store. So paint thinners and that it just might be harder and harder to find. Like they might, you know, because of the environmental concerns and that kind of stuff. So yeah, and also because Copics have become so popular, it's just become a bit harder to find a lot of the supplies to do this method. So that's another reason why I haven't really done this video, because people expect me to do all the work for you and like link to everything and show you where to buy it, etc., etc. But it's kind of hard because I've had my stuff for so many years and it's not something I come across too often online. So I'll link to what I can. The rest is kind of up to you. Check your local craft stores, art supply stores, your favorite online stores. You can even contact them and see, they might be able to get things in for you. You never know. But I hope that answered any questions you guys might have, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye.